Okay, hello everyone. Welcome sa panibago na naman nating lecture, this time under to ng experimental psychology. Marami kasi mga students humingi ng request na gumawa raw tayo ng lecture on factorial experiment na isang topic under experimental psych. So siguro ito yung mga students na nahihirapan na intindihin what makes an experiment factorial. So ginawan ko to ng short lecture para makatulong sa mga students na maintindihan how factorial experiments work. But before I dig deeper into factorial experiments, magbasa muna ako ng biblical passage. From 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 8 to 13. Sabi, love never fails, but there are prophecies. They will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when completeness comes, what is in part disappears. When I was a child, I talked like a child, I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put the ways of childhood behind me. For now, we see only a reflection as in a mirror, and then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. And now these three remain, faith, hope, and love, but the greatest of this is love. Mamaya i-connect natin yung passage na yan sa konsepto ng factorial experiments. Ang sabi ng APA sa kanilang online dictionary, ito raw ang ibig sabihin ng factorial experiments. I-zoom in natin. You can just pause the video if you need. The important words are in red. Paano mo malalaman ng isang experiment is a factorial experiment? Ang key feature dito, at least merong dalawang independent variables ang isang experiment. Sabi ko dito at least, kasi ang factorial experiment pwedeng magkaroon ng 3 o ng 4 o ng 5 independent variables. Pero at the very least, kapag ang isang experiment merong 2 independent variables, then that qualifies it to be a factorial experiment. By now, siguro naman, alam nyo na, ina-assume ko, na alam nyo ng ibig sabihin ng independent variables. Ito yung variables sa experiment na minamanipulate natin, kinokontrol natin, or pinapakialaman natin as the experimenter. So for example, pinapataas or pinapababa natin ang stress level ng mga participants. Gusto natin malaman kung may effect ba yon sa kanilang grade sa eskwelahan. So in that case, yung grade nila sa eskwelahan in connection to stress, yung grade is the dependent variable. Gusto natin malaman kung yung stress level ba, which is the independent variable, may epekto ba sa grade nila sa school, the dependent variable. So kapag ang isang experiment may at least 2 independent variables, may 2 variables tayong pinapakialaman, kinokontrol, pinapataas or pinapababa, then that's the key defining feature of a factorial experiment. Now, sabi ko dito, bakit tayo gumagamit ng experiment or bakit tayo nagra-run ng experiment na at least 2 ang independent variables? Okay? Balik tayo sa definition kasi sinasagot yan ng definition, yung tanong na yon. So, bakit 2 ang independent variables? Number 1, kasi gusto natin malaman kung yung 2 IVs ba na yon, meron ba siyang main effect doon sa dependent variable. Kung baga, ang factorial experiment, it's like running 2 experiments in one. Kaya ang maganda sa isang factorial experiment, pwede kang magpapublish ng 2 papers, na kung saan, yung first paper mo would be IV1, anong epekto niya sa dependent variable mo, and then the second paper would be IV2, anong epekto niya doon sa dependent variable mo. So in that case, this would be experiment 1, IV1 papuntang DV, and in this case, ito naman yung experiment 2, IV2, anong epekto niyan sa DV. So that's the first purpose why we run factorial experiments. We want to be practical. 2 experiments ang nirun sa iisang study. Most likely, gagamit ka ng factorial experiment. Going back to the definition by the APA, isa pang reason bakit gumagamit ng factorial experiment or 2 independent variables kasi gusto natin malaman kung yung IV1, independent variable 1, and independent variable 2 nag-i-interact ba sa isa't isa. The word interaction is very important in experimental psychology. Mamaya as we go along, i-discuss ko anong ibig sabihin ng interaction effect. For the meantime, ito lang muna tandaan nyo. Bakit nagfa-factorial experiments? We want to know kung merong interaction effect between independent variable 1 and independent variable 2. Now, just to solidify everything I've said, Bigyan ko kayo ng sample factorial experiment, although this is a hypothetical one. Hindi talaga to nangyari sa tunay na buhay, but this would help you further understand how factorial experiments work. Halimbawa, meron akong dalawang independent variables. Again, sabi ko, yan ang key defining feature ng factorial experiments, at least two independent variables. In this case, ano yung dalawang IVs ko? Number one, praying. First independent variable, merong dalawang levels. May mga taong magpe-pray, may mga taong hindi magpe-pray. And then my second independent variable would be sleep time. Dalawang levels ulit yan. Letter A, those who will sleep early, may mga tao na mag-i-sleep late. Yung dependent variable ko, ito yung mini-measure natin sa isang experiment, would be student grades. So gusto kong malaman if these two independent variables, meron ba siyang epekto doon sa dependent variable ko, which is grades of students. Now, going back to purpose number 1, why are we running factorial experiments? Because we want to run two studies in one. So in this case, ano yung posibleng dalawang studies na pwede kong i-explore and later on ipapublish as a journal article? Let's say, ito yung first study ko. Gusto kong malaman sino ba ang mas nakakakuha ng mataas na grade, yung mga estudyanteng nagdarasal o yung mga estudyanteng hindi nagdarasal. Diba? So ang research question natin dyan is, does praying affect student grades? Wherein, ang pwedeng hypothetical result natin would be, students who prayed got higher scores in quizzes. Yan. So yan yung pwedeng posibleng resulta ng experiment na yan when it comes to praying and what grades students get. Yung experiment number 2, may kinalaman naman sa oras ng pagtulog nila. So first group of students, natutulog sila ng maaga, pangalawang grupo, natutulog sila ng late. Gusto nating malaman kung yung oras ba ng pagtulog, may epekto ba yan sa grade nila. Specifically, ang research question natin dito, does sleep time affect grades? Ang possible result niyan, hypothetical result, o ang hypothesis natin could be those students who sleep early, mas mataas ang grades na nakukuha nila compared to students who will sleep late. Nagigets nyo? So yung mga slides na pinakita ko na yan, yan yung purpose number 1. We are running two experiments in one study. But going back to the definition of factorial experiments, balik tayo. Ito, gusto ko mag-i-emphasize to, no? Kaya tayo nag-run ng factorial experiments is, we want to know kung meron bang interaction effect between IV1 and IV2. Meron bang interaction effect yung praying at yung sleep time? So, dito na ngayon papasok yung kahalagahan na dapat naiintindihan nyo anong ibig sabihin ng interaction effect in the language of experimental psychology. Ang ibig sabihin lang ng interaction is when a certain combination of two independent variables combine to affect the dependent variable. Kung baga, ang magandang analogy na gamitin dito, pagkain. Diba? Mag-isip kayo ng mga combo meals, halimbawa sa Jollibee. Kung gusto mong malaman kung may interaction effects ba, kung may interaction effect ba yung combo meals ng Jollibee sa kabusugan mo, ang question mo dyan would be this one. Anong combo meal ang pinaka nakakapagpabusog sa mga taong kumakain sa Jollibee? So ano ba yung mga combo meals na yan? Combination ng Chicken Joy at lumpia versus combination ng Chicken Joy at ng spaghetti, or combination ng spaghetti, o kung gusto mong masira tiyan mo, at palabok. Yun. So kung gusto mong hanapin anong combo ng pagkain ang pinaka nakakapagpabusog sa tao, in a way, yung study na yon, gumagamit ka ng factorial experimental design. Gusto mong malaman kung anong dalawang pagkain ang nag-i-interact with each other para makapagpabusog ng mga tao. Maliwanag. So yun yung simpleng analogy. Now let's apply that analogy to become an experiment in psychology. Alright? So balikan natin yung hypothetical experiment ko kanina. Dito na natin i-apply yung konsepto ng interaction. So going back to my two independent variables, which are praying and sleep time. Again, under praying, ito yung dalawang levels natin, those students who will pray and those students who will not pray. Under independent variable 2, sleep time, may dalawang levels na din tayo. May mga estudyante na matutulog ng maaga, may mga estudyante na magpupuyat or they will sleep late. Ang dependent variable natin is their grade. So, kapag magra-run tayo ng factorial experiment, ito ang main question natin. Anong combination of praying, which is IV1, and sleep time, which is IV2, ang pinaka may epekto na maganda sa grades ng mga estudyante? Let me repeat, para mas malinaw, kapag magra-run ka ng factorial experiment, yan ang gusto mong malaman. Anong kombinasyon ng praying at pagtulog ang kapag nag-combine sila, yun ang pinaka nakakapagpataas ng grades ng mga estudyante. So kung i-combine mo yung IV1 and IV2, ilang grupo ang mabubuo? 4. 'Di ba? Given the number of levels of IV1 and IV2, which is parehong dalawa, ito yung mga possible combinations natin. May mga estudyante na magpe-pray at matutulog ng maaga. May mga estudyante na magpe-pray at matutulog ng late. Merong mga hindi magpe-pray pero matutulog ng maaga. May mga estudyante na hindi magpe-pray pero matutulog ng late. 'Di ba? Those are now the 4 possible combinations. Gusto natin malaman alin sa kombinasyon na 'yan ang pinaka makakapagpataas ng grades ng mga estudyante. Gawin nating operational definition ng dependent variable yung 3 quizzes. Anong average nila doon sa 3 quizzes na 'yan? Nagigets nyo? So, picture this with me. Let's say meron tayong 100 willing participants to undergo this experiment. Obviously, mga estudyante yan. So, anong gagawin mo sa 100 na yan? Ira-random assignment mo sila dito sa 4. So, ilagay mo ang pangalan ng 100 sa isang fishbowl and then bunot ka ng isang tao. Ang unang tao mabubunot mo, mapupunta sa first group, pray and sleep early. Pangalawang tao makukuha mo, pupunta sa pray and sleep late. Pangatlong taong makukuha mo, no pray, sleep early. Pang-4 na taong makukuha mo, no pray, and sleep late. So on and so forth hanggang maubos mo ang pangalan ng 100 participants. In that case, bawat isang grupo dito, in this case, merong lamang 25 students or 25 participants. Alright? And then, anong gagawin nyo? Kapag nandyan na yung 25 sa bawat isa sa grupo na yan, siguro i-apply mo yung manipulation, let's say in 1 week. Gagawin nila yung pray, sleep early, pray, sleep late, di ba? So yung 4 na grupo na yan, ginagawa nila yung mga manipulations in 1 week, and then at the end of 1 week, bibigyan mo sila ng 3 quizzes. Yun. Base sa mga lessons, of course, na pinag-aralan nila within that 1 week na ginagawa nila to. Okay? And then, kukunin mo yung scores nila from those 3 quizzes, i-average mo. Got that? And then, at the end of the day, syempre, bawat isang grupo dito, meron silang overall average scores. Oh, ngayon, ito yung posibleng hypothetical data natin. Ito, gawa-gawa ko lang to kasi hypothetical experiment nga to. So, ito ang hypothetical result. Let's say, yung mga estudyante na nag-pray at nag-sleep early, average score nila is 80. Yung mga estudyante na pray, sleep late, 95. No pray, sleep early, 81. No pray and sleep late, 79. Yan yung mga average scores nila. Now, paano mo malalaman kung merong significant difference yung 4 na grupo na yan in connection to the grades that they got? Yan ang trabaho ng 2x2 ANOVA. Kaya ang statistical analysis dito in this factorial experiment is a 2x2 ANOVA. Ang tanong, bakit? Bakit siya naging 2x2 ANOVA? Kasi yung unang number 2 dito refers to the first independent variable. Kung maalala ninyo, ano yon? Praying, right? Ilang levels meron ang praying dalawa? Those students who prayed and those students who did not pray. So the first IV has 2 levels, kaya siya naging 2. Got that? Eh yung pangalawang 2 dito, this represents the second independent variable. Kung maalala nyo, yung second independent variable natin is sleep time. Ilang levels? 2. Mga estudyante na mag-sleep early, that's the first one, at mga estudyante who will sleep late, that's the second one. Kaya siya naging 2. Got that? So, kaya dalawang number 2 ang nakita nyo dyan kasi merong dalawang independent variables. Bakit yung unang number is number 2? Kasi meron siyang dalawang levels. Bakit yung pangalawang number 2? Kasi meron siyang dalawang levels. Halimbawa lang, hypothetical, yung una natin, balikan natin yung prayer. Lagyan pa natin ng isang level. Pray, no pray, tapos play. Ayun. So, 3 na yung levels. In that case, itong 2 magiging 3. Got that? Tapos, ganun din yung gawin mo sa pangalawang independent variable. Sleep early, sleep late, tapos lagyan mo ng pangalawang level, no sleep. E di tatlo na, ano magiging change dito? Magiging 3 rin to. In that case, magiging 3 by 3 ANOVA. Got that? Pero i-delete nyo na yung sinabol kong example na yan. Balik tayo sa 2 by 2 ANOVA. Again, bakit 2 by 2? Kasi meron tayong dalawang independent variables na merong tig-dalawang levels. Kaya ang data analysis dito, gagamit ka ng 2 by 2 ANOVA. Ano ang trabaho ng 2 by 2 ANOVA? Iispatan niya kung meron bang significant difference yung mga scores na na-compute from these 4 different groups. Now, let's say, nag-run ka ng 2 by 2 ANOVA, ito ang posibleng resulta, ito ang namula. Sinabi sa iyo ng 2 by 2 ANOVA result na this group has a significantly different score compared to the 3 other groups. Significantly, pinakamataas ang score ng grupo na to kumpara doon sa tatlong grupo. Now, what does that tell you? Ang pinakamagandang kombinasyon ng praying at pagtulog is nagdarasal ang mga estudyante at the same time natutulog sila ng late. Kapag ganun ang ginagawa ng mga estudyante, magdasal sila, tulog sila ng late for 1 week, then most likely, yun ang pinaka maganda para tumaas ang grade nila as is seen in this result. So what's the perfect combination that increases the grades of students? Yun na nga. Pagpe-pray at pag-sleep ng late. So in this case, masasabi natin merong interaction effect between praying and sleeping. Specifically, anong combination between praying and sleeping ang makakapagpataas sa grade ng mga estudyante? Those students who would pray, at the same time, they will sleep late. O, balikan natin yung food analogy natin. O, kapag sinabi mong may interaction effect, yung combo meals, ibig sabihin, meron tayong nakitang kombinasyon ng pagkain na pinaka nakakapagpabusog sa tao. Which is what? Ito, hypothetical lang to. Kapag may interaction effect yung pagkain sa pagkabusog, siguro chicken joy at lumpia. Yun ang pinakamagandang combination na pinaka nabubusog ang mga tao. Hindi yung chicken joy at spaghetti. Hindi yung chicken joy at french fries. But chicken joy at lumpia. They interact with each other. Yan ang combination na pinaka nakakaapekto sa dependent variable, which is yung pagkabusog ng mga tao. Kaya in experimental language, in connection to this analogy, the right way to say this is, may interaction effect ang chicken joy, mali pa ako ng spelling dito, naging chicken jot, chicken joy at lumpia sa kabusugan ng tao. Nagigets nyo? Gawin yung experimental language. So, going back to my example, yan. Anong combination ng prayer at ng sleeping ang pinaka nagpapataas ng grade kapag nagdasal ka at kapag natutulog ka ng late? Anong itsura kapag walang interaction effect? Kasi pwede mangyari yan, no? Sa isang factorial experiment, sasabihin sa'yo ng 2 by 2 ANOVA, walang interaction effect between IV1 and IV2. What does that look like? It looks something like this. May kita mo na doon sa 4 na grupo, sa 4 na combination of praying and sleeping, walang significant difference. Masyadong magkakadikit yung scores. What does that tell you? Kahit anong baliktad mo ng praying at ng time of sleep, pare-pareho lang yung scores na nakukuha ng mga estudyante, which tells you na yung score ng mga estudyante, walang kinalaman yung praying o yung sleep time. Kahit anong halo-halo ang gawin mo dyan, pare-pareho pa rin sila ng scores. So, walang specific combination of praying and sleep time ang makakapagpataas sa grades ng mga estudyante. So, in experimental language, the right way to say this is, there is no perfect combination or there is no interaction effect between praying and sleeping. Siguro, separate effect or main effect meron. Pwede yun, no? Walang interaction effect, pero merong main effect. Pwede magkaroon ng main effect ang prayer sa grades. Pwede magkaroon ng main effect ang sleep time sa grades. Pwede yon. Pero pwedeng may main effect yung dalawang IV sa grade, pero wala siyang interaction effects. Ibig sabihin, pag kinumbine mo yung dalawa, nawawala yung epekto. In that case, wala siyang interaction effects. Got that? Yun ang ibig sabihin ng interaction at yan yung reason kung bakit tayo gumagamit ng factorial experiments. Now, you may be asking by now, ano ngayon ang kinalaman ng 1 Corinthians 13 verses 8 to 13? Actually, I want to emphasize on verse 13. Pwede mo kasi itong gamitin as illustration how factorial experiments work. From here, pwede kang magkaroon ng research topic to test verse 13. Now, tanggalin na natin yung variable dito of love. Kasi sabi dito, love is the greatest of this. So, itest lang natin yung hindi greatest, yung faith and hope. Gawin natin independent variables yon. So, first independent variable is faith. Let's say may dalawang levels yan, low faith and high faith. So, magkakaroon tayo ng manipulation in our experiment na meron tayong gagawin sa mga participants na tataasan natin yung faith nila versus bababaan natin yung faith. Ewan ko na lang kung paano gagawin nyo, but anyway, this is just a hypothetical example. Ganon din sa IV number 2, which is hope. Pwede tayong magkaroon ng manipulations in the laboratory para pataasin or pababain yung hope ng mga tao. At bakit natin ginagawa yan? Kasi gusto natin malaman kung meron bang interaction effects at main effects itong IV1 at IV2 doon sa dependent variable. So, i-apply ulit natin yung definition ng factorial experiment. Ano yung unang purpose? Gusto nating malaman kung meron bang main effect. Yung IV1 sa dependent variable, ang IV2 papuntang dependent variable. Remember, 2-in-1 experiment. Pwede magkaibang paper yan. Ito yung paper number 1 mo, effect of faith on connection with God, and paper number 2, effect of hope sa connection with God. By the way, in connection to our dependent variable, marami namang mga psychological instruments ang nakakapag-measure how connected a person is with God. Alright? So, ito yung magiging dependent variable natin. So, this is 2-in-1 experiment. Kasi dalawa ang independent variables natin. O ngayon, another reason bakit tayo gagawa ng factorial experiment kasi gusto natin malaman kung merong interaction effects or interaction effect, between faith and hope. And what does that mean? Kung hinahanapan natin ng interaction effect, yung faith and hope, ang tinatanong natin dito, meron bang certain combination of faith and hope na kapag yun yung combination niya, yun ang pinaka nakapagpapataas sa connection with God ng tao. And what are those possible combinations between faith and hope in connection to our dependent variable, which is connection with God? Meron na namang 4 yan. Diba? So, dalawang grupo ang mabubuo natin dito. People with high faith and high hope. People with low faith and low hope. People with low faith and high hope. People with high faith and low hope. So, kukuha ka ulit ng participants who will undergo each of this group. So, let's say 100 ulit. I-random assignment mo sila dito sa 4 na levels na yan or combinations. Magkakaroon ng tig to 25 na laman yan. Alright? And then from there, anong gusto nating malaman? Anong combination dito ang pinaka-effective sa pagpapataas sa connection with God? So, may-measure naman natin to via a psychological instrument. Now, syempre, given what the Bible is saying, ano ang hypothesis natin? If what the Bible is saying is correct in connection to this study, ang ini-expect natin na magiging maganda ang connection mo with God is when mataas ang faith mo, mataas pa ang hope mo. Yun. Because all over the scriptures, mahalaga talaga ang faith as a spiritual element and hope. In terms of how we connect with God. Those people with high levels of faith and those people who hope in the Lord most likely are the people who are very connected with God. Kaya, given that would be my hypothesis. Sa 4 na combination na to, ang makakapagpataas ng connection mo sa Diyos would be mataas ang pananampalataya mo at mataas ang pag-asa mo. But then, of course, this is just a hypothesis. We wouldn't know until we really do this. So, kung meron kayong enough time, meron naman kayong ways on how to do this, pwedeng makolekta kayo ng data and then run a 2x2 ANOVA analysis and then let me know kung ano ang lumabas. Basta ako, ang hypothesis ko, ito ang grupo, ito ang combination of faith and hope na magbibigay ng mataas na connection with God. given what the Bible is claiming. Alright? So yan ang maikling lecture natin about factorial experiments. Sana nakatulong tong maikling lecture ko in helping you understand how factorial experiments work. If you have any questions or comments, meron kayong mga suggestion na topics, ilagay nyo lang dyan sa comment section hanggang sa susunod na lecture. Sir Howard here. God bless everyone. Bye-bye.